Hi, I'm Brett Barra. Join me weekly on this PBS station for Knit and Crochet Now as we stitch beautiful and unique crochet and knitwear, household accessories, baby things, and gifts for friends and family. Joining us are experts Kristen Nicholas.
This is not for the faint of heart. It's a bit of a challenge, but it's kind of nice to knit it for a dog because A, the dog won't know if you made a mistake, and B, it's a smaller project. The great thing about this is it's made out of a knitting worsted weight yarn, but it's doubled.
Using two strands
Two
of
strands
yarn
at a
throughout.
time. And it's only knit in one color, and at the very end, you go in and put the duplicate stitchery on.
So that's like an embellishment. It's not actually
It's an embroidery technique.
Very
yeah.
cool. This looks
Yeah.
like another really quick gift idea. Ellen Gormley, we're making a shell stitch shawl out of an interesting fiber.
It is. It's a very interesting fiber. It's designed by Candy Jensen, and it's a very easy stitch pattern that you're going to be able to apply to many different things. And because we're going to talk about the multiple and stitch repeats, you'll be able to customize it to fit.
So this is another interesting construction. We just thought really unusual felted bag, and this is pretty unusual too, at least for our show.
Absolutely, and it's a lot of fun.
Yeah, so a loom, why use a loom? It's kind of like a hybrid of knitting and crocheting in a way.
Right, well, it's just so much fun. And you know, with crocheting and knit, you can always get more tools to add to your tool bag. And the loom is one that a lot of people maybe haven't tried yet, but it's just as much fun. And some people think it's faster than regular knitting with knitting needles or circulars.
Robin Chichula.
We're starting with our ribbing, and we're going to work rows of ribbing up and down, and then fasten off, and then work around and around and around to build Owl's body. It's a really good sweater if you've not done one before, because the stitch pattern isn't very complicated, but you still get all the basics of sweater. Essentially, you have to make a bunch of different panels and then seam them together, and so you get all of the extra steps without having your shaping isn't very hard, your stitch pattern isn't hard, all those things that could trip you up on your first sweater.
And Maggie Pace.
We just pick up stitches all the way along one side, and then we increase at each one of the peaks, and we decrease at each one of the valleys so that it continues in that kind of shaping.
We're working on knitted golf club covers. It's a new one, but a great gift idea for the golfers out there.
Yep, yep.
And these, you know, they're not that different than socks or mittens.
Right,
really.
right. It's similar. What I really like about this project is the spiraling rib pattern. I think it's really unusual, and it's even more unusual when you actually start knitting it, because when you're knitting it, it feels like lace. It seems like lace. It's actually yarn overs, knit two together, and that's how you're achieving that. There's no purls in here.
Who introduce new designers and demonstrate the various stitching techniques to achieve those new and fresh designs. In each episode, we feature and introduce either a new and creative knitted or crocheted scarf design. Today we're making this chunky cabled scarf. Looks like it's braided. At first glance, it looks like it's strips of knitted fabric that have been braided together, but it's actually one solid piece that's cabled. It's a really cute crochet scarf called Alpaca Dance, and this is I love this pattern. It's very sort of vintage crochet motif, very, very classic. It's in a yarn over cross pattern, which is really interesting, as you can see. This is a motif a general name for motif is African flower that sort of just describes this basic style. Knitted scarf called Snow Bunny. This is it right here. It uses a couple of novelty yarns. We've got an eyelash yarn as well as a sort of basic yarn, but it's got these little sequins in it, which is really fun. You just get a little bit of bling. Be inspired, challenge, develop, and nurture your creative yarn skills. Fresh new stitches every week on Knit and Crochet Now.